$75 from Didymus that says, good luck today and thanks for doing what you do. I've watched this one played when I was younger, but I never had a chance to play it myself. Anywho, runner's choice for donation. $10 from Anonymous. It says, Pac-Man World is one of my favorite PlayStation games, and I've never seen it speedrun before, so I'm loving the interesting exploits. I hope you guys are feeling as comfy as I am watching it at home right now. Having lost my grandparents to cancer last year, it felt like the right time to finally donate. Have a fun and safe weekend, and save the animals. Fun fact, put this game's disc in your CD player and listen to the soundtrack. Which rocks, by the way. $5 from Anonymous. It says, so satisfying to see one of my most frustrating childhood games get thrashed. Show this game who's boss. Also, kill the animals. $15 from Hot Sauce that says, love Pac-Man World. This game is incredible, and playing it as a little kid, I couldn't even make it past the first 3 levels. Joester, you are incredible. Donation goes to your choice. $10 from Maverick166 that says, had to donate for Pac-Man World, much nostalgia. Love AGDQ and glad to help kill the animals. Cancer. And by the way, on the Save the Animals and Kill the Animals donations incentives, Save the Animals has roughly $26,000 right now, and Kill the Animals has roughly $35,000 right now, with about an $8,600 difference overall. So if you're looking to save those animals, you might want to get those donations in. $10 from Maverick166. It says, had to donate for Pac-Man World. Oh, I read that one. Ha 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 ha. Never mind. How about $5 from Major Foley? It says, one of the games of my childhood. First time I've ever seen it speedrun. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. $75 from Anonymous. It says, AGDQ is the best time of the year. Thank you all for everything you do. And thank you for your donation. I have a $25 from Anonymous that says, lost my dad to cancer just 3 months ago. Getting an early diagnosis is important, but not something we managed to do. Symptoms just aren't visible for certain cancers until it's too late. Having someone you love going through cancer isn't something I want others to have to go through, so I'm donating to show my support. Let's beat cancer, and let's save the animals. $10 from Verasauce240. Says, love watching all GDQ events. Thanks for providing entertainment and raising money for great causes. 3 years cancer-free. Congratulations. $15 from Hot Sauce. It says, love Pac-Man World. I read that one. I thought I'd mentioned that. Okay. How about this one? $25 from 2Halos169. Says, hello everyone. This is an amazing event, and twice a year is more than enough for me. I started watching in 2015, and I've been a fan since. Also, hello from the UK. Hello back, UK. $10 from Twilight Dusk that says, didn't even realize this was on the schedule, but woke up early to see a game from my childhood. Played at my grandparents' house with no memory cards, so I don't have much memory of these later levels, but still have to donate during it. Well, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed that run. I have $20 from Matt Trick that says, first time donating. Thanks so much to all the people who make GDQs possible. I I have $25 from Chris that says, last year I unfortunately lost my grandmother to breast cancer. She was the kindest person I ever knew. I've been watching the GDQ marathons for several years, so it only feels appropriate to honor her with a donation. Lots of love to the event volunteers, speedrunners, and community. Hello, chat. By the way, kill the animals. I have $10 from Anonymous that says, because $5 isn't enough. My grandpa got sick during lung cancer when I was young and passed similarly. Here's to making sure kids have all their grandparents. $20 from Anonymous that says, second time donating. I love these marathons and I'm always trying to watch them as much as I can. My grandpa just died and I would like to dedicate this donation to him. Thanks to everyone involved, watchers, donators, and all awesome speedrunners. $25 from Clueless Ninja that says, hey everyone, this is my first donation of the week. I discovered the GDQs in 2014 and I have not missed one since. Both my parents are cancer survivors, so I can't think of a better cause to donate for. Keep being awesome, everyone. $20 from How Original that says, huge fan, watch every year, second time donating. Unfortunately broke due to college or else I'd be happy to give more. Good luck to all our runners and excited as usual for the task spot block. I would agree with that. The task spot block is always super exciting. $20 from a Lauren that says, several years ago I lost my grandmother to lung cancer. Letting it take her was a choice that she had made for herself after living her entire life as a nurse, helping people go through it. I hope for a future where no one has to make that choice for themselves or their loved ones. I've got a $10 from Anonymous that says, $5, I'll double your offer. This one goes to Sonic Adventure 2 Dark Story. Sorry, Knuckles, but someone's calling you and I don't know who. Here's to fighting cancer and killing those animals. Here's $5 from Anonymous that says, hi AGDQ, here's my $5 towards having an unpleasant experience in Undertale. $25 from Satan18 that says, lost my father to cancer last year and I'll do what I can so no one else has to suffer like me. You guys are the best. $25 from Lurky Lurkerton that says, hard to find anyone not affected by cancer. So glad we can watch these awesome games done quick for such a great cause. $5 from Chris Bond that says, hey, watching GDQ this week has been very entertaining. I've lost a loved one to cancer, so I wanted to contribute as much as a first-time donor. Shout-outs to the Blacktastic, Grand Pooh Bear, and Proto Magical Girl. Thanks for the interviews. Much love from PvP Live. Thanks for your efforts, and save the animals. All right. I believe we're ready to get ready for some Mega Man Legends. Is the crowd out there ready for some Mega Man Legends? Very good. Well then, why don't we throw it over to Blue Metal and the Couch.
Yo, how's it going, guys? Mega Man Legends.
Yes, indeed.
Pretty good game. I'm glad to finally have it here in a marathon. I think it's his first appearance, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
All right. So I'm bluemetal. I'm the runner. I'm okay at this game. It's pretty good. And behind me, I got some pretty cool guys on commentary.
I'm JMC. Let me tell you about Mega Man Legends 2.
I'm Bubbles Del Fuego.
I'm Bo Steed.
And we got this random over here named Tomato. All right, so are we ready to go?
Ready here?
All right, is this timer reset?
Ready.
All right. Let's see. It still says something on the timer for me. Is that all right? Are we good to go?
Looks good.
All right, just a sec here. Okay. All right, I'm ready to go. All right. 3, 2, 1, go. All right. So at the start here, there's in this intro one, there's like several text boxes that would normally stop you in place, but some of them will activate in the air. So what you do is you just jump right before them, so you get some free movement out of them. Oh.
Yeah, Roll is cute, and we all adore her. We don't really want to listen to her too much.
Yeah, pretty much. I made a couple little movement flubs there, but it's no big deal. At the very start, they hardly cost anything.
Yeah, the main points to movement that we're doing here is diagonal running is boss.
It's pretty boss.
Yeah, it's a standard sort of thing. Forward momentum plus sideways momentum means a lot more diagonal momentum. Also, we'll be stutter shooting a lot. It's essentially just an animation cancel where you shoot and then turn and or move forward, and it allows us to shoot a lot faster than the game intends us to. And it gives us a free buster part here at the beginning where you can get a little bit of extra power. We take it because why not?
Yeah, it's right. It's like right there.
Yeah, you're required to finish that room anyway, so you can do this one.
Certain runs do skip that buster part, namely easy mode, but we take it.
Oh, that was a good fight.
It was a good fight.
Yeah, that's the Hanmaru doll. It's pretty much your introduction to a boss, and there are a few more of them, just standard enemies in the ruins.
Sometimes that boss is a little bit finicky. Like you'll mash the up button trying to stutter shoot, and it'll still be just shooting slow for some strange reason. I'm glad it worked out that time.
So anyway, now we have crashed our plane on this island, just by chance happenstance, and just happens to be like the focal point of our destiny. So that's how that works.
I guess
Welcome
it
to
could
video
also be
games.
mentioned that while this game is mainly optimized by IGT, menus and everything are counted towards IGT, so equipping buster parts and such actually does need to be routed out. You're not free to just do it at will without losing time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why it's being ran in Japanese, just so the text is faster, and there's also a few different skips that are different from the PAL and USA versions of the game.
Yeah, and we'll get to that in a little bit, but
Yeah, Japanese is mainly faster because of like not only are the text boxes faster, but there's just a sheer number of them just cut out because of just how much faster Japanese is. Like, you talk to someone and there's like, say 5 text boxes on English, and Japanese there's probably like 3. So that you're already saving a ton of time off of just the language switch.
And generally, coming up is one of the main first spots where you're going to lose a run. We have a room full of RNG snakes that we need to clear out so that we can rescue the junk chop lady's husband, who is up there.
You mean macaroni bots?
Macaroni bots, yeah.
And for people not familiar with this game, aiming is
Dude,
a
get on
little
the left.
tricky because your buster shots all sort of have a auto homing effect on them to like aim assist, and there's no real way to turn that off. But it is beneficial later in the run, so
Well,
we'll take it.
it's nice because the buster shots are slow moving and they track to where the enemy was when you shot, so they will whiff on most occasions.
And unlike Zelda games, or this is compared to a lot, this game doesn't have a Z targeting or lock on where you can freely move around. So there's no option for locking on and strafing.
There is a little bit, but it also auto aims.
It's only when you're zoomed in too, I think, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's really annoying, and most of the time you actually miss more when you have lock-on on.
Yeah.
So you try to lead your shots.
Yeah, in that snake room in particular, there's like bots behind a wall, and oftentimes your auto aim will try to shoot at the wall at the guys up above instead of the
Right.
snake right in front of your face.
It has some interesting choices on what it wants to aim at.
Yeah. All right, so we're talking the roll here. For saving that lady's husband, we get a support car for free, and then Roll's going to fix it up.
She's also giving us our first sub-weapon, which is the landmines, which in most cases, most people probably thought wasn't too useful. They could have figured out how to use it for the first boss, which we'll see in a minute. But we use them in a few interesting ways.
Yeah, some you wouldn't quite expect, and it's actually... This weapon's pretty effective, you'd be surprised.
Also, we got our first glimpse of Tron there. We're not going to see a whole lot of her outside of robots, but, you know, she's our tsundere.
I don't know, I think we'll see her outside of robots a lot because we're destroying them all the time.
We'll do that plenty, yeah.
There
she is again.
Yeah.
She's faster than you.
Yeah, she got there real quick.
Also, there was a little bit a second ago where we were sneaking past some kids. That sneaking mechanic doesn't ever really get used ever again.
Yeah, to get past them, you have to walk up to them, because otherwise, if you run up to them, they just like, you get stopped in place. You have to go through some text boxes and a tutorial saying, hey, you have to walk. So you have to like find the spot where you have to like just walk for the smallest amount of time possible.
Also, Tron is being chased by a dog right now. You can't really see it. In most cases, you know, anybody who's played this game probably remembers sitting down, having a heart-to-heart about chivalry and how to treat women. In this version, we have a slightly different way.
Only possible in the Japanese version. Saves that, like what, 15, 20 seconds or something?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because that cutscene is unskippable otherwise. So yeah, punting it saves us a bunch of time.
Harm the animals, save the frames.
Yes.
Save many frames.
And there is actually a morality system in this game. If Mega Man does evil things, then his armor turns more black. But apparently kicking the dog doesn't actually affect that at all. He just acts a little bit more frightened of you later.
Yeah. So after talking to Roll, it appears that the city's under attack, so we got to go fix that problem.
Yeah, just a little bit. And we saw that Gramps is in City Hall right now, so we probably don't want that to explode.
Yeah, it'd be nice to keep that stuff, you know, working. Unlike Tron's robots in a moment.
Yeah. These are the Bloom Bears. They are 3 serve bots in rolly tank things. And immediately at the start of the fight, the red one passes the key we need to the blue one, so just blow up the blue one and it's fine. And depending on what version you're looking at, this guy's named either Ferdinand or Feldinand. And we make him dance.
Good fight. That was really good. That's not easy.
Yeah, it wasn't the perfect stun lock, but I mean, it worked out. I didn't get touched until the very end when it didn't matter.
Yeah, like one more hit and it would have to run around, wait for him to do it again.
Yeah.
And now we got the biggest RNG middle finger of the game right here.
Yeah. So there are 4 tanks that are rolling around and 3 flyers. The flyers will drop more tanks if you kill any of the tanks while the flyers are still active. So we want to try and get the flyers down first, and then worry about the tanks later. The only thing is that, as I mentioned, there's 4 of them. One will always be red and go directly for City Hall, and then 3 of them are kind of roaming around at will. And we need both the bank and the police station to be alive at the end of this section, or it can cause us some problems.
And you also want to kill this one as soon as you can, because if the town hall takes damage, there's going to be a little cutscene. And you also want to be collecting money, and
God, I'm so happy the bank is alive right now.
Yeah, the bank is fine.
Yeah, 'cause there's a side quest we have to do later that requires the bank and the police station to not be destroyed, and I'm so glad that this one didn't target the bank at the start, or else I'd be in big trouble.
Yeah, if that guy goes nuts on the bank immediately, then there's not a lot you can do about it.
Alright, I have both poles, it looks like.
Nice.
I'm going to be doing a new strat for this boss, and if it doesn't work out, I'll be doing a classic strat.
Yeah, as I mentioned, you probably don't expect this sort of thing with landmines.
Alright, he kind of broke out, but he's most of the way.
That is actually a very nice bonbon.
Yeah.
Interestingly, Bonbon is actually voiced by the same voice actress as Pikachu.
Mm-hmm.
And so this whole beginning area is like fetch quests, and then they suddenly just put you in the middle of a boss rush, kind of.
Yeah, pretty much. It's
a really weird order.
Talk to Gramps, talk to Roll, talk to Gramps, talk to Roll, and then do some other things. But now the pirates are kind of taking root on the island and causing problems. They wanted the mayor to give them a key to get into these ruins, but she wouldn't. So now they're trying to dig into the ruins instead, and not having much success with it. So coming up is Marl Wolf. He's a lot of fun because he is essentially 2 coin flips in a row, and depending on whether you get heads or tails, it's whether you've got a good run or not.
Yeah, the first coin flip will cost you maybe like at most like 2 seconds, but then the second one can cost you about like maybe 5, 6. So if you're unlucky twice, you can lose like 8 seconds just because he feels like it.
Yeah.
And Data right there is conveniently in front of a lot of bosses, and as you can see, he can be used as a safe point.
Yeah, he refills your life and energy and fixes your shield if it's broken, which I guess I can mention that mechanic. You've got a life bar, and it has a shield around it, which is closed right now. Otherwise, that life bar kind of opens up a little bit and looks red. If the shield is broken, then you take more damage. And if you lose all your health, you go into a state called red bar, where you only have 1 more hit left.
Well, I lost both coin flips and got the slowest possible pattern.
But that was a 100% consistent manipulation of the boss, if anyone noticed in the beginning. If you run to the right side and you dodge, he's always going to do the same attack every single time. So you go to the right side, then you dodge to the left, and then he'll be forced to move to his right. And so by the time you climb up, you can jump over.
Mega Man doesn't care about getting slapped repeatedly. Also, that was Teaselbon. He's fantastic.
His English actor is amazing.
Yeah. One of the downsides of playing the Japanese version is you don't get the English voice actors, including Canadian Mega Man.
He's too nice. He's not allowed to kick the dog.
Also, he says things like a boot and rule.
All right, so now that we stopped the bonds with all their robots and stuff, the mayor congratulates us with like an upgraded license. We get to go to the next dungeon. On the way, we normally have to like do some sort of semi-auto scroller where you destroy some tanks that's in Roll's support car, like in the way of the support car. But we're gonna skip that in a very interesting way.
Yeah, there used to be a glitch that we used called kick storage. You can kind of save momentum that's used when you kick an object by saving and changing weapons. But there's a little bit more of a direct way of doing it. She doesn't care about being shot, it's fine.
But yeah, normally we turn on going to that cave to start the auto scroller to get into the dungeon, but we're gonna get into the dungeon a different way. It's a lot faster.
Yeah, we used to have a few interesting strats that involved Roll running us over repeatedly with a car, but now we don't do that so much.
It's also pretty cool because this used to be a strategy that was only available to you on easy difficulty, because
Yeah.
easy
Oh, wow.
difficulty starts off with the jet skate item, which is kind of like the equivalent of a dash.
you go.
But
Yeah,
there
so
you go. Big skip.
that's the only big glitch that we use in this particular run.
Yeah, the reason why that works is because that particular spot in the wall is actually somehow open. Now, in easy mode, you start with the jet skate, so you can just go on through. So what happened was we discovered that your backwards momentum from kicking something is the same speed as the jet skate, so we decided, all right, let's test this out and see if we can actually, skate through that, kick backwards through that wall. And we just do that by kicking an enemy and then getting pushed back by him. And it works.
That's got to be found really recently, because
It was like a month or two ago.
yeah, I had no idea.
It unfortunately invalidated Hetfield's task that he made. Like, he finished that
Yeah.
task, and then like a week afterward,
Oh my god.
we found out how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But we have the lovely jump, spring, skip.
Yeah. That's what we've been calling it.
And so just like one of the bosses earlier that he rolled to and got the key, I forget the one. It was one before, like
Bloom Bears?
yeah, it was Bloombergs. And so just right there, this money is spawning in the center of the enemy, and a lot of things are, a lot of the actors in the game are interactable before they even make contact with the ground, similar to the landmines. And so as long as you're in the center of the enemy when they die, and you also roll so you have your iframes, you won't get hurt and you'll collect all the money at the same time. And, yeah.
Although with those nests, you don't even have to roll if you.
Oh yeah.
He just runs out of them now.
Yeah, the funny thing is I somehow unlearned the timing for the roll, so I decided to just start running through, and, well, I'm adjusted to it.
It's the most important crack in the wall in the game. It has 300 zenny in it.
Yeah, but the reason we're killing all these enemies is because we started a conveyor belt to have this green chest come over here, because it blows up on this compactor and gets me a key, so use that time to get some enemies, and hopefully they give you some money.
Yeah, there is a little bit of shopping that we need to do a touch later, just to get a couple of buster parts, and then later on we'll be set for money after a specific event.
Yep. The next shopping trip coming up is basically the last one for the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
You really don't need to buy much.
Other than the upgrades.
Yeah.
That's the jump spring that we just picked up. It doubles your jump height as soon as roll actually turns it into an item.
Yeah, the sad thing is that aside from buster parts you find, almost everything, any item you find in the game, it can't be used for, you can't really use it until roll feels like, putting it together with the right other items.
So
Yeah.
he's been doing a lot of sequence breaks actually through this whole dungeon. All these huge jumps like this one, you can only do by strafe jumping with the current items that he has. And normally you have to run around, knock down bridges, walk across them, and it's a really fast route otherwise.
So now we have the yellow refractor. It's too small to fix the flutter, which roll crashed. But we'll probably find some sort of use for it.
You guys don't get to see one cool trick totally replace another cool trick.
Yeah. The jump spring skip that Plum was talking about is essentially we jumped on top of the console for that elevator and then jumped up and grabbed that ledge, which again is only possible if you're strafe jumping.
Yeah, it looks like it's a lot harder than the other thing you guys just did.
Yeah, it actually is, but it's easy and you should get it every time.
Yeah.
All right, so in just a minute here, we're going to go do our final shopping trip, and then we're going to do something very fun, Resident Sleeper.
Yeah.
So
So
you
it's-
didn't. Oh, you go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, we're just getting a couple of buster parts. Blue's also getting an energy canteen just for safety's sake, and a hyper cartridge, which we use to refill our sub-weapon energy once.
And we save that for the final boss all the way at the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
He can bring you down to no health in sometimes one hit, and so you just want to have the energy canteen so you can take one more hit. Because even if you have like only one little health bubble right there, you can still take like 2 hits before you die.
Yeah, you only die if you get hit while on red bar. It is possible if you have a little bit of health left. You can get knocked over and fall on your
I
head.
did the wrong menuing.
Nice. You can, if you fall on your head, you
Oh.
take a little bit of damage, and
Wow, I'm just flipping my menus, holy crap.
that's fine.
Yeah, your buster's good now.
Okay. Ugh.
Fortunately, though, you can go out of your way to get a protective helmet that'll
Yes.
shield you from head damage.
But we're too cool for helmets.
For
You're
some reason, I had
really
like a late
class
game
cannon.
buster menu in my mind. Okay, whatever, we're good. We had the right setup.
So that you kind of saw a brief glimpse of a guy in green there. He is a kind old man who, once we fix this boat using the yellow refractor, will let us borrow it. The rest of his boats have been stolen. He's a pretty nice guy. His name is Wiley. And as far as I can tell, he is the Wiley of this particular world.
And now we have the most skillful section of the entire game.
Oh yeah, this is great. This is several minutes of auto-scroller. So we're pretty much just going to be sinking boats for a while, so this is a great time for donations.
Oh yeah, it's excellent. We got like maybe 5 minutes or something here.
This is why it hasn't been in the marathon.
Yeah.
All right, well, if it's a good time for donations, I think maybe I'll get right into that.
All right.
I have 1555 from Exile Lord that says, "Hey Blue, sorry I couldn't make it to AGDQ this year. Good luck on your run, and remember to pet your dog."
Oh yeah, I made sure to pet him very aggressively with my foot.
I have $10 from Crazy Berserker that says, "I got up early just so that I could watch one of my favorite games of all time, Rockman Dash. I had to donate for this. Good luck, Blue Metal."
Thank you.
Here's $50 from Vivian the Great that says, "I stayed up way past my bedtime to see my good friend Bostein hanging out on the couch. If Blue Metal needs any motivation during the run, all he has to do is believe."
I believe.
I don't like that I understand that reference.
Thanks, Vivian.
I have $75 from Innervate316 that says, "Never did manage to finish Mega Man Legends as a child, primarily due to the fact that the game my parents bought me was in Japanese. Keep up the good work on all at AGDQ, kill cancer, and while we're at it, kill the animals too."
Gotta go fast.
I have $50 from Caliburn235 that says, "Mega Man Legends is one of my favorite games for the PS1. Had to donate during its run. Good luck to Blue Metal and all the runners at AGDQ. Keep up the good work."
I'll make a quick aside here that Roll just pointed out that she saw a bunch of signals on her sonar and then immediately said they're above us. So apparently doesn't know how sonar works.
Never noticed that.
You can go ahead.
I have $5 from V Prisoner. It says, "Gotta give where I can. This is a game near and dear to my heart. Always excited when this one gets exposure. Thank you, Blue Metal and crew, for supporting esports."
So this is like the first time you're excited?
I have $50 from Jerry the Mormon that says, "Been watching GDQs for a few years now, and I finally have money to donate, so I just had to donate during one of my favorite games growing up. Go Mega Man, boo cancer." I have $10 from Shawnee that says, "Hi from the UK. Me and my fiance love watching AGDQ, and we really loved the Rocket Robot on Wheels run yesterday. Looking forward to the Katamari and Taskbot runs. Keep up the good work, guys." $5 from Sacramental that says, "Greetings from Holland. Second time donating to this great cause. Keep up the good work and put this money to the bonus Super Metroid run. Hype."
No.
Here's $10 from Andreas. It says, "Greetings from Island Islands. I'm speechless and proud of all the runners, announcers, audience, and Twitch followers. You have the biggest of hearts. Please give yourself a warm round of applause." Also kill the
Not
animals.
even clapping during the auto-scroller?
I have to focus on those boats, man.
Now let me tell you about how the auto-scrollers in Mega Man Legends 2 are much better.
You guys don't want that one around.
Yeah. These boats can sink us, but it's not a big
It's
problem.
incredibly impressive, actually, that you've only gotten hit once. It's kind of hard not to get hit like a few times.
Yeah, I tried to go for the damage list, but the first red boat at the very start is random when he shoots his torpedoes. If he shoots early ones, well, you're probably going to take at least one hit.
Yeah, that was the last boat that we just sunk, so we are about to move on to the...
I hope you like some water in your face.
Yeah, look at those pixels.
Alright, so coming up we have a very fun auto-scroller boss to go with this auto-scroller level.
Yeah, essentially, we can't damage him while he is out in the middle of the lake for one reason or another. Apparently, he's too powerful, so we need to figure out a different strategy.
Fortunately, I came up with a really good strat for this boss. I like to call supersonic. It's
James.
very efficient.
It's an honor, JMC.
There's nothing super about it. It doesn't save more time than the normal version.
Well, one of the buster parts we have is the sniper unit, and we're going to use the sniper unit to one-cycle this, except if you miss one of your shots and say it's intentional, you get the supersonic.
JMC, please.
So he was talking about how the Buster part and the menu that he did before this area, which he's going to change after this area, was useful because he has a range up and a power up. So he did everything in his power to make so he would have high power and high range, specifically for this boss. So he can attack for as much as he can because he's going to stand out in this open area and he's going to rotate around him. And he needs to knock off parts of the body. And then the final part that affects the life points, or like the main health bar, is only available to spawn when you can't see it. So he needs to, you'll just see for yourself if he gets it, but he needs to rotate around and kill every part, the arms and the two back cannons.
And while this may not seem like much, actually managing to destroy this whole bit in one go is incredibly difficult.
Yeah, this takes several days of like solid practice.
So he'll come back to that arm later.
This is one of the times where the auto aim is actively working against you because it'll often be aiming at the arm that's behind the thing that you're shooting at, or pretty much anything else.
Yeah, looks like you're probably getting it if you miss this arm 1,000 times. There
Yeah,
you go.
we got it.
That's very hard. Yeah, you can easily choke and miss this.
Yeah.
I've done that a few times.
This is actually really tight on getting this weak spot in one cycle. If you miss it, we call it the odd cycle, but he got it.
That trick is really hard. You have no idea.
Yeah. That or you're blue and you get it pretty much every time.
All that practice pays off. Ooh.
So now we are back to actually hoofing it. We've got another short dungeon where, surprise, surprise, we're looking for 3 keys, although we don't know it quite yet. And roll pops in every so often to say, essentially, I can't see anything on my screen. There's nothing in front of you when there's clearly things in front of you. So she's being a big help.
This is the last dungeon where Blue's actually going to be hoofing it, though, because right after this dungeon is when Blue is going to have the parts to build the jet skates, which you immediately start with on easy mode, but here you don't get them until now, and it makes movement a lot faster and more fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is one of the reasons why it's compared to Zelda games, because this is pretty much the water temple.
It is full of water.
It's the water temple ruled by the Dorito King.
Yeah.
Oh god, that's a name we have for a boss, and it's kind of a meme thing. I don't know if you guys want to go into it or not.
His name is really long and confusing, but it kind of looks like Dorito if you convince yourself that.
It's Garu Doritin.
It's close enough.
Yeah.
Actually asking the GDQ couch if they want to get into a meme.
Yeah.
Like, what
Yeah.
rhetorical question is that?
Yeah, no kidding. And then one of our runners just looked at that one time and was like, is that Dorito?
But fortunately, Blue has access to this great strat called the family-sized Cool Ranch Dorito King, and will be very efficiently taking out the king.
To go further into that meme, the reason why I call it the Cool Ranch is because, well, I go by blue, and the Cool Ranch is a blue bag, so there you go.
It's also objectively the best flavor.
Yeah, this guy also happens to be, orange, so that kind of led to us calling him Mr. Dorito.
On a more serious note, one thing that should be mentioned is there is a lot of people are probably familiar with Mega Man 64, which is a port of this game on the Nintendo 64. And there are quite a few differences between this and 64. And a big one is the strat you have to do on the boss. If you want to go into that a bit, Bosteed.
Yeah, sure. So essentially, the Nintendo 64 version is like a beta build of this game that they ported. So essentially, if you aim directly at his face, the shots are going to plink off his chest. But if you aim directly above his shoulder, then you can still hit his hitbox, and the auto aim kind of doesn't know that it's supposed to be aiming at his face.
Yeah, he has like a gigantic hitbox instead of something that's as big as his head, like it should be. So we just call it like the magic hitbox or the massive hitbox.
Yeah, but in the Nintendo 64 version, the auto aim is too aggressive, and you can't get that particular spot. So yeah, that was a boss. He's gone now.
Yeah, it's a lot trickier than it looks too, because it's like strafe, run, turn, aim, look up at the specific spot, shoot before he dives at you, and then do that like 7 times in a row.
Yeah, you can just kind of shoot him down from the door. You kind of want to move around him a little bit while shooting him, just so that you can be closer to the door you need to exit out of.
Still, I think it's cool that we have a boss in this game where you shoot nothing and hurt him.
Yeah. You could clearly see that those shots were going directly above him, but his hitbox is much larger than his tiny little head.
The health meter is actually just how intimidated he is by you.
You gotta go back and get that pie she's making you.
Oh yeah, that apricot pie. Also, we're not going to take that elevator.
It's actually faster to do that than to jump on it, but that's only if you get a first try.
Yeah. It's fine. But yeah, Roll made some apricot pie and asked if we were up for a slice. I'm not sure if it's pie in the Japanese version. I have a feeling it's not.
Well, all that matters is she's making jet skates too for dinner.
Yeah, there's Wiley again. He was looking out over the ruins of the lake where you sank all of the rest of his boats.
We'll see him later on in the marathon.
Yeah, a little bit.
He makes cameos in other games.
All right, so for before we fought the boss, we got this red refractor, and it's actually large enough to fix the flutter. So we talked to Roll, and then cutscene happens, and we're inside the flutter now.
Yeah, she's too excited to actually let us build anything. So what we're going to do now is go into Gramps' room and steal a schematic for a grenade. This is the other sub-weapon we're going to use in this run. We used to get the active buster, but then decided that that was too slow. So we just used the grain grenade that we were required to have anyway.
Yeah, because you need an explosive weapon to progress in the next dungeon. And it turns out that this weapon is actually the most useful, cost-effective weapon you can get for the remainder of the game.
Yeah, with one upgrade to its attack power, it pretty much maxes it out, and it's pretty powerful, actually.
Yeah, they didn't patch it.
And yeah, because they changed the Zenny values of a lot of things in the PSP version. But it's also pretty cost-effective since it has 5 upgrades total, I want to say, and we can get 4 of them.
Yeah, and you'll be seeing how we end up getting that much money. It's I'll just say it's interesting.
Yeah, and totally legit.
Yeah, because that's the reason why I've been picking up money from anything that I've destroyed. Because we'll get that all at once.
Yeah, we're going to be set for life. But anyway, we've got one more ruin to go to. This is the ruin that styling through the door. This is the ruin that the Bonds were trying to dig into, so we had to fix the flutter because they screwed up the ground around it. So we had to fly to the entrance even though it used to be on ground level. So that's just us equipping the jet skates. This is another spot where Roll points out that she can't actually see anything on her monitor, so thanks, Roll. And then once we have examined this console, we are looking for 3 ID cards. So
This
first,
is a... Oh, yeah.
I was just going to say the first dungeon is 3 keys, the second dungeon is 3 keys, and the third dungeon is 3 key cards.
A lot of you people out there today playing video games probably are used to and spoiled by this great feature called autosave. But in this game, we haven't saved yet. We have some backup saves just so we can complete the run at the marathon. But if you die, it's back to the beginning of the entire game.
Yeah, and it's surprisingly easy to die at certain points.
This is one of the first big threats. There's a lot of situations where you can get comboed by those enemies with drill arms if they're just if they spawn in the wrong spot. And there's a boss coming up here that's pretty strong if you mess up the trick.
Yeah, but we got an interesting trick for it that makes it very. It's weird, but it's actually very cool. It's some AI abuse.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you've seen this one yet, but yeah, he's trivial now.
Yeah, you go in the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that.
Cool.
I'm kind of fast.
Yeah. By the way, we interact with that purple thing so we can turn on. It's the generator that turns on all the elevators because right now, well, they didn't work before I interacted with it, but now they do. So now we can actually go fight that said boss.
And here's the one spot that we need the grain grenade for. If you don't have an explosive, then you can't actually get through here. You just have to blow a hole in the ceiling. So artificial progression blocker.
A surprising number of people actually get stuck there casually. Even I did as a kid.
Yeah, it's not obvious when you're playing casually. It's almost like stealing. Says Roll about us going through ruins. Don't worry, Roll. We'll get to that in a minute.
So these robo dogs are a huge threat. They have like bomb shots and they bite and they flamethrower.
Yeah, but if you stare at a wall, then they don't have anything that they can do about it. Pretty much, they're of the opinion that if you can't see them, they can't see you.
Yeah, the way their AI works is if they're off screen, then they're completely passive, and all they do is just run at you. So you want to just like stand at the door, have them all gather up behind you, and then you just throw grenades at the wall, and their splash damage will damage them.
Oops. And part of it is that you zoom in. If you're just up against the wall, then they'll still attack you. But since the camera pulls in a little bit when you zoom and look upwards, then they are far enough off screen that they're just like, don't know what to do.
They don't attack you based on how close they are to you. They attack you on how close they are to the camera. And so if you put the camera even closer to the wall.
Shout outs to Easy's friend.
Yeah, that little dude I shot at right there, he's actually killed a couple runners in races before. Don't take him lightly. He's kind of a threat.
No, we're serious. Those Mirocs do a startling amount of damage. And occasionally, like I mentioned before, that particular Miroc can hit you when you're jumping onto that platform and pretty much take off all of your life. And then when you're in red bar, you hit the ground and fall on your head and die.
All right, so we gathered all 3 of the card keys. We interact with this panel here, and it opens up our final dungeon. Although we don't really finish that dungeon until like quite a while later. But we mainly have to go in there to fight another boss, and then gather, guess what, 3 more keys.
Yeah. The Watcher, Sleeper, and Dreamer.
Yep. And coming up in just a moment, we got a series of battles. One of them is kind of actually difficult because there's an easier route you can do. There's a route you can do where you get like a couple other items in that dungeon to make your buster stronger. But that takes time to grab those items and develop it. So we skip those at the cost of making this fight a lot harder.
Yeah, so we're about to fight the Gessel Shaft. The Bonds have figured out that Mega Man is too strong and will probably, would probably finish that dungeon eventually anyway, so they just decided to ambush us after we had opened the main gate.
Yeah, I still get the sniper unit because it's actually really hard to hit everything that you need to hit on this ship.
Yeah, it requires precise counting. First the mini ships, though, and they're chumps. Sorry, Servbots.
He's got to do some practicing there because he's got to hit that wing that kind of way.
Yeah, this might take a little bit of concentration. All right.
All right, got the worst out of it. Got
Yeah.
the worst of it out of the way. All right, that's the hardest part of the way.
If he doesn't do that last part fast enough, those bombs can knock you back, and then he'll make you rise up before you finish him off. And then you have to go through the cycle all over again. But that was really good.
Yeah. And this is the Focke-Wulf. Essentially, we shot down the Bond's like home airship, and now they're pretty much on their last legs. They have this ship that they used to escape in, but they decided to attack us, so now they have to die.
He's pretty weak, but in terms of health.
Yeah, and now the Bonds are dead forever. So rip Bonds, including the baby. But we're the hero guys, right?
Oh yeah, especially when we kick dogs and whatnot. We're definitely the heroes. Especially what's going to happen pretty soon too.
You're really going to save the day.
Kick dogs, kill babies.
But
So
no, they actually did survive. We're going to fight them again in just a moment.
yeah, essentially we're going to the main ruins now to look at what we just opened. And anything that's locked behind 3 doors is probably a good thing, right?
For sure.
It's got this sweet spiral staircase or spiral ramp.
Yeah, so if you get dizzy easily, you may want to look away. Also, rip headphone users.
You're gonna enjoy the screeching noise for a little bit.
Yeah. Dude, look at all those puffs of smoke. You're losing so many frames. There is a buster part in that door that he just passed by, which is kind of useful, but Blue skips it because he's too good for it.
It saves like 10 to like 12 seconds to skip that at the cost of making this next boss a little bit harder.
Yeah.
So like the same situation as the Gessel Shaft for like right after. Harder boss, but saves more time.
It'd be crazy if you want to make this boss harder, too.
And on top of this boss being a little bit harder, he shoots a couple missiles at the near the start, and their trajectory is RNG, and I have to hope he doesn't nick me with those missiles, or else the fight's going to be a lot longer.
Yeah. So yeah.
That switch, he just opened up the main gate.
Yeah, that ruin that we just kind of went through, but then we looked at that console and it said we need to override it by getting the keys from the sub-cities. This is Bruno. The Bonds are fine. They were just hanging out in that warehouse eating pizza. And on hard mode, this guy's health bar goes all the way across the screen.
This is why he got the hyper cartridge earlier, because he's going to refill right now.
He's not actually.
Oh, he's not? It's after the fight. Yeah, that's what I mean. But like,
Yeah, we save it for Juno actually.
oh, you save it now?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is why this fight was made a bit harder by skipping that buster part. Hello, don't shoot his feet. Thank you.
He's got these bunny slippers with cannons on them. And he's on top of that building. It's fine. There's also explosions over there for no reason.
Yeah, that's another very hard boss.
Anyway, good job.
Yeah, that's.
It's easy to screw that one up if you don't really know how to place your grenades.
Yeah, you have to shoot the midsection, and it's like a really good damaging spot, and you can't really throw that far with the grenades either. So you got to get really close, and every time he takes a step, his huge hitbox feet can knock you over.
Yeah.
Mm.
Or his arms if he's feeling feisty.
Yeah, all he has to do is rotate, and he'll die.
Yeah.
And by the way, we're going back to the flutter now to start a very interesting side quest for all the money we mentioned earlier.
Yeah, so we're going to take a look at this television, just take a load off, and oh no, the bank is being robbed. So let's go fix that situation.
Somehow they brought a car through the small door that leads to not where the bank is.
Yeah, that entire downtown area doesn't make much sense to me because there's only small doors and there's cars in like all different areas of the city that can't get there.
They just need to get some jet boots and they'll be fine.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Also, sliding diagonally does go faster.
Yeah, just like diagonally running, it applies to the skates too.
Yeah, this is on normal mode, by the way. And if you start on easy, you start off with like Max, Buster, and the jet skates.
So anyway, we're going to shoot this car and then cram our face against it because apparently Mega Man's face does more damage than his gun does. And this is going to make them stop. It's weird because nothing else really gets damaged. So now we've got a suitcase full of money, and yoink.
Instead of giving it to the inspector, we're just going to steal it and get 200,000 zenny out of it.
The worst part, though, is those serve bots were totally respectable. They actually withdrew the money, and they were going to start a bakery.
Yeah, that's actually true. They got a loan, and then the police saw them with a suitcase full of money and assumed they were robbing the bank. But now the bank has been robbed for real, and we have the completely darkest armor. But it's fine. We're going to use it for legitimate means.
I think you mean the dankest armor.
Yes. Yes, indeed. This is dank mega percent.
So he doesn't need whatever the money is going to be used for right now, because this boss, you can only do like, it's better to do a certain number of hits rather than just like one good hit. And is also right on the way, so if you were to even power up and then go to this boss, you would lose time just from movement.
Yeah, but we are definitely the hero. Kick dogs, kill babies, and rob banks. And
Well, actually, we just robbed the serve bot.
Yeah.
This guy's like adorable. Just every time he attacks, he just shimmies away.
Yeah.
Like, oh god.
Don't bully Janice.
Yeah, we have an interesting name for this guy.
Yeah, which we won't repeat on stream.
There's like a lot of those names at this marathon.
Let's just say it involves your behind. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, that's as far as we need to go. But
And he actually went right at the start, which is good, because he can go left or right, and going left loses you a little bit of time. Not much, but it's better if he goes right.
yeah, which I didn't realize for the longest time. I just assumed he always went one direction.
You don't start getting the alternate patterns until you finally start speedrunning a game.
It's also worth noting that this is underground and at daytime, but the skybox is a starry night sky.
Yeah, this is where the serve bots live, actually. They have their own cities and, as Mega Man puts it, the living quarters.
And they really needed a bakery, and just took that from them.
Did I say serve bots? I meant
Reaver bots.
Reaver bots.
Speaking of which, he got the Reaver bot because he can spawn 2 different types of enemies, and Reaver bot's kind of preferable. He's doesn't move as much.
So right there, we spent all the money that we stole and upgraded our grand grenades. So one upgrade maxed out the attack, and now all the Reaper bots I throw these grenades at will die in like 1 or 2 hits instead of like a ton of buster shots or whatever.
Blue, that money was acquired.
Shh, we won't talk about that.
So here's Grand Grenade.
Yeah, now it's a little bit more ridiculous.
This is the most RNG heavy like sub-city, so I'll be happy if this one goes well.
Essentially, the hippos can wander at random. Those guys, the shacks, can wander at random.
Their full names are Sharu Kurusus, but instead of calling them like Sharus or whatever, we call them shacks because there's plenty of memes to be had.
They can dunk on you.
That one went pretty well.
Yeah.
So just like the first one and then now this one, there's like I said earlier, 3 keys. So we got to get, this is the second one, we got to get 1 more, then we can go back into our spiral dungeon and then go fight the final boss.
Yeah, but this one's different because the 3 keys are in different areas.
They're not within the same dungeon, oh my goodness.
Oh, and if you notice there was a blue refractor there, it doesn't do anything. We got that in the intro dungeon, and it doesn't matter at all. We can't even sell it for cash.
And so now the truck that's being used for fast travel, if you haven't figured that out yet, is going to bring us back to where the Bruno boss fight was. So you can enter into this place because the nearby box that brought you to the spiral staircase is the same direction that you go to Mega Man Juno, which is the final boss. So this is a good place to do the final dungeon.
Here we've got a few hippos that are wandering around at random, and then a couple of guys that are in stationary locations. So it's mildly RNG, as that guy was demonstrating.
Oh, I'm so psyched for this.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Kobe.
Kobe.
Got him.
Yeah, there's an antenna bot up there on top of that building. You can just find a specific spot to stand in and then just throw a grenade from looking up all the way and you'll get it every time.
Which was so cool when I saw that the first time.
Cool, I didn't mess up that throw. That's the throw I was most afraid of. Because occasionally I'll just like let go of aiming too soon. You'll just like throw the grenade like just straight ahead on the ground.
Yeah, and so now we're going to go and open those 3 doors that we were talking about. And as I mentioned, anything that is good is behind 3 doors, right? And not totally a world-ending disaster.
No, of course not.
Especially not when you are on an island that has all sorts of murals and stuff about world-ending disasters if you open those doors.
Mm. So it's going to take a couple minutes to get through this little area to reach the final boss. So I think, would this be a good time for donations?
Yeah, like 1 or 2. Yeah.
I think it sounds like a pretty good idea. I have $25 from G that says, up early to Bo Leave. Keep up the good work, guys. I have $10 from Ilex that says, had to make sure to donate during my favorite game of all time, Mega Man Legends. It's good to finally see it run here at GDQ. Good luck to Blue Metal and the rest of the runners. I've got $25 from Lady in Black 3 that says, go Blue Metal, awesome to watch you, and so very proud of you too.
Okay, so that's the 3 doors, the Watcher, Sleeper, and Dreamer doors. And we have just released Mega Man Juno, who has decided that the carbons on this island have, air quotes, have kind of gotten out of control, and he needs to reinitialize them, essentially meaning that all the island inhabitants are essentially artificial life forms, and he's going to kill all of them and start over. So, yeah, good thing we opened those doors, right?
So this is definitely the hardest boss of the game, but it's so impressive. If you just play this yourself and see, and then you watch this run.
It's the big plot twist, though. You kicked some dogs, and now you actually have to fight yourself, Mega Man.
Yeah.
Like, being this close is very risky.
Also, we've got classical music because we're so classy.
But yeah, Blue needs to be really careful because 1 hit from this guy is pretty much almost lethal.
And if he's dead, if bosses are dead and they try to attack you, they don't hurt you.
Also, we've got a very snazzy hat there for a second. So, Echoes of Sigma. Essentially, we killed his first form, and then his head went into this bot. And
I just jumped over him.
I've
Okay.
never seen that.
dude, nice.
You can barely just jump his height.
I'm not going to say that's never happened before, but I've never actually done that. But hey, it's possible. Nice.
Had to work it in somewhere.
So he's actually dead now. Like,
Yeah, that's the last boss. So we're coming up on time.
I'm surprised the fight went that well for missing 2 grenades.
Yeah, and time is when we talk to roll and say that we are ready to leave.
Time.
All right.
All right. I'm curious, what was the RTA on that? 51.59. That's a really solid run. That's really
Yeah,
close to my PB.
extremely good.
My PB is a 51.42, I think. And so with this game, for our leaderboard, we go by in-game time. We just use RTA to track how far ahead or behind we are. So I'm very curious to see the IGT for this run. Just unfortunately, we got to sit through the credits, but we're way ahead of our estimates. So
Yeah.
that's great.
And one of the best songs in the game coming up, Anata no Kaze ga Fukukara, or Your Wind is Blowing.
I feel sorry for those who run on 64, though. You don't get a nice credit song.
No, it's just the flutter music. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much Mega Man Legends. And
Go speedrun the misadventures of Tronbon.
Yeah, speedrun that game if you love RNG.
Yeah, that one's been submitted to the marathon a few times as well.
I can understand why it was rejected.
You mean you don't like a speedrun where you gamble at a casino for hopefully 10 minutes, and if you get lucky, you just win the game?
Oh, yeah, for sure. But yeah, I just want to give some shout-outs real quick. Yeah. So I want to give a shout-out to these cool nerds behind me, doing some good commentary. I wanted to shout out to Ochgard because at first we were planning on submitting this game as a race on the 64 version, but he couldn't quite make it out here, and we decided it was better to just do a single run instead of a race. I want to shout out to LCC, who was supposed to be one of our commentators, but his plane is delayed, so he couldn't make it. And then shout out to the Mega Man Legends community. We're not very large, but we still have we have a bunch of dedicated runners. Let's see. I think that's it. Do you guys want to shout anyone?
Shoutouts to Bizarro JMC, the OG Legends runner.
Oh yeah, JMC. He's the OG runner who came up with pretty much most of this game's routing tricks and everything. He's a boss. He's also a mad scientist.
And Easy is our professor.
Yeah, shout out to Easy because he was supposed to be a good commentator, but he couldn't quite make it out here either.
Mopey Joe would have been doing good commentary. He's at a lot of marathons as well. He just couldn't make it to this one.
Also, Furry Fob Master, who made an auto splitter for this game, so you don't need to sit through the credits, which I don't think we're gonna do.
Yeah,
but
we're not.
if we were playing on emulator, Nat is auto splitter, we'd already know.
But it's like another 3 minutes, I think, of credits or something like that. So we're just gonna head out.
Yeah. So thanks everybody for watching, and hope you all have a great AGDQ.
Yeah, thank you very much for watching.
All right, that was Blue Metal playing Mega Man Legends. That was a fantastic run. I'm going to read a couple donations quick, and then I'll be out of here. I have $50 from 11 Cloud that says, "Hey, Bo, 11 Cloud here. Super happy to see you on the couch after watching you play this game for hours. I just want to say I believe in the cause and kill the animals." And I have $5